I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Serena Jamaica Williams, a name that echoes through history, a legend whose impact goes far beyond tennis. But behind every grand slam and fierce serve lies a human story, full of resilience, controversy, family bonds, and transformation. Today, we take you on an emotional and powerful journey through the life of Serena Williams. From the courts of Compton to becoming a global icon, fashion mogul, mother, and unapologetic queen of reinvention. Serena Williams was born on September 26, 1981, in Saginaw, Michigan, to Richard Williams and Oracene Price. She was the youngest of 5 sisters, including the future tennis icon Venus Williams. At a young age, her family moved to Compton, California, a neighborhood known more for its street struggles than tennis courts. But her father had a vision. He trained both Venus and Serena on cracked public courts, using old tennis balls and hand-me-down gear. He wasn't just their coach. He was a strategist, a motivator, and a man with a 78-page plan to turn his daughters into champions. Imagine being 4 years old, already swinging rackets with precision, while other kids were still learning to tie their shoes. While Venus gained fame first, Serena was lurking quietly in the shadows, preparing to shake the world.
So at this stage in their development, tennis was limited to just practice sessions that were overseen by their father, who had this to say about 12-year-old Venus.
Every champion that lives has 4 main qualities, and she has all those qualities. And you can't teach them, you have to be born with them. You have to be rough, you have to be tough, you have to be strong. And mentally, you just have to be unbelievable sound. She has every quality to be a champion, and she will be. And that's what makes Venus Venus. And Serena, it's something like a pet bulldog. Once she get a hold to you, she won't let go. Serena plays angles better than any woman or any man I ever seen play tennis. And she's so strong. And she hits the ball so well with her ground stroke. And her hands are just unreal. Serena will probably be a better player than Venus. That's not to compare my girls, but she will be.
Yeah. Rotate to the hip.
This glowing view of the sisters was reinforced by the Academy's owner, Rick Macy, who had previously been the coach of a young Jennifer Capriati.
There's no doubt in my mind, I've worked with enough good kids and pros. Both kids definitely can go as far as they want. I think the day will come that both kids might play each other in the finals of a Grand Slam. I think both of them have the capabilities to be top 5 in the world. Richard's very fortunate. It's lucky you get one in the family, but he has 2, and both the girls have that ability.
Venus want to win Wimbledon. Serena want to win the U.S. Open. And when I think about that, there are times, I wonder what would I do. And I know what I would do now. I would go back to the ghettos of Compton and get some of those gang members who used to protect my daughters from other gang members. And I would go get the members of the Crips and bring them to the U.S. Open and Wimbledon. And they would sit in box seats. And they would sit there and watch my daughter. And it would give so many other kids the opportunity to see that they can do it. And they would remember Venus and Serena. They would say, boy, they did it. I can do it. That's that little girl who live on Marble Street, that little poor girl. And what they actually said, that little poor girl daddy drove that old Volkswagen, that broke down. So yes, I think sometime about them winning the big ones like the U.S. Open and Wimbledon, and we will win them one day.
In 1999, Serena shocked the world by winning the U.S. Open at just 17 years old, defeating world number 1, Martina Hingis. That wasn't luck. It was a statement. She quickly blazed her own trail, different from Venus, powerful, unapologetic, and emotionally intense on court. Serena's style was aggressive, raw, and thrilling. She became the face of a new era in women's tennis. Over her career, she's won 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the most in the Open era, and 4 Olympic gold medals. Her legacy? Untouchable. But success didn't come easy. Her journey was often met with bias, injury, and media scrutiny.
Obviously, it just brings back smiles, as you can see. It was such a great moment. And it's so funny when you have these moments, it's like,
you look back and you want to relive them, and it's like, oh, it was such, just being there, being so focused for those 2 weeks, 3 weeks really, and then winning a Grand Slam at 17 and having so much more to do. It was honestly such an amazing time, and I expected to win, but no one else really thought that I would be able to win a Grand Slam. But it was also like a big shout to the world, and especially to the sports world, of like, I have arrived, I'm here to stay, I am good, so be ready. That win really propelled me to the next level, and it propelled me to like being just everywhere. And it had been so long since an African American had won a Grand Slam. It had been a very, very long time, and I was the first to do it since Althea Gibson in the 50s. So it was an amazing story to be told. It was an amazing story that people wanted to hear. It pushed so many more amazing young Black women into the sport, and it was fun.
Serena's bond with her sister Venus is one of the most inspiring in sports history. Rivals on the court, best friends off of it. They've faced each other in 9 Grand Slam finals, often Serena walking away with the trophy. Yet, there's no jealousy. Venus supported her like a rock, even when Serena rose to number 1. Their parents, particularly their father Richard, faced criticism for being too controlling. But time has proven him right. Both daughters became tennis royalty. And we can't forget the tragic loss of their half-sister, Yetunde Price, in 2003, gunned down in Compton. That shook Serena deeply. Her pain was raw, and it only deepened her focus and strength on the court.
Authorities in Compton, California have 1 man in custody and are looking for as many as 4 other possible suspects in connection with the shooting death of Yetunde Price, the 31-year-old sister of Venus and Serena Williams.
It just seems so unreal. Now it's on the news and it's everywhere. And so the reality of it is kind of sinking in.
And I was just trying to get a flight back to LA because the kids were there. She has 3 kids.
Today, as Venus and Serena Williams flew into Los Angeles, police announced that they'd arrested 1 local man for the shooting and were still seeking 2 other suspects. A statement from the Williams family said they were saddened and devastated by the murder. Quote, "She was our nucleus and our rock. Our grief is overwhelming."
A strange thing happens when people that you love pass away. No one really knows what to do with their feelings or what it actually means or how their life is going to change.
I think the hardest part was telling the kids. And I just remember, we stayed at my apartment at the time, and we just played Uno. That's all we could do. It was the most mindless thing that we could do. We got so close in those last 6 months. It was a miracle that I broke my muscle. And it's not funny, but it was so amazing that happened because we were able to spend so much time together, and it was time that I'll never forget.
Serena's career could have ended multiple times. Between knee surgeries, pulmonary embolisms, and a life-threatening childbirth, her body endured more than most could imagine. In 2011, she nearly died from a blood clot in her lung. Then, in 2017, during childbirth, she faced multiple complications, including another embolism. But she kept coming back, stronger, sharper, fiercer. Her 2012 comeback led her to win Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, and Olympic gold. At 35, she was still dominating teenagers half her age.
Serena Williams, who's been called the greatest athlete of all time, just released an essay about her near-death experience giving birth, an experience that is disproportionately more likely for Black women and birthing parents, who are nearly 3 times more likely to die after giving childbirth than white women. So right after labor, Serena was in a complete haze and couldn't move her entire body, not her legs, not her back, and she looked over at a nurse and asked, "When do I start my heparin drip? Shouldn't I be on that now?" In 2010, she learned that she had life-threatening blood clots in her lungs, and the nurse just shrugged it off. So Serena began to cough. The nurses told her it would burst her C-section stitches, but she couldn't help it. Turned out she had a clot in one of her arteries, and in her abdomen, and more that might get to her lungs. Serena said, "I need to have a CAT scan of my lungs bilaterally, and then I need to be on my heparin drip." And the nurse said the medicine must be making her talk crazy. And Serena was like, "No, I'm telling you what I need. I need to get the scan immediately." And finally, the nurse called her doctor, who actually listened to her. She ended up getting the CAT scan. There was a blood clot in her lungs that they needed to break up before it would get to her heart.
Serena's dating life was once a media mystery. She was linked to rappers, athletes, and actors, including Common and Drake, before finding love in the most unexpected place. She met Alexis Ohanian, the co-founder of Reddit, in 2015. The tech entrepreneur and the tennis legend couldn't have been more different, but their love story was real. They got married in a lavish New Orleans wedding in 2017, shortly after welcoming their daughter, Olympia. Serena often says Alexis changed her life. He supported her emotionally, publicly cheered her on, and even stepped back from Reddit to focus on their family. A power couple redefined.
When I see the success that my partner has, that Serena has at whatever she does, it is a win for us as a family unit. And selfishly also just makes me really proud because this is the woman that I'm spending the rest of my life with. You want to continue to spend as much of your time as possible surrounded by people who make you want to be the best version of yourself.
How do you navigate being a man in the women's sports space?
Wow. Well, look, I'm married to the GOAT of women's sports, so that's helpful. I don't know, I think if you look at how we built Athlos, we built it simply by saying, what do these women want? What do these athletes want? And I think the two things that have held women's sports back have been people who didn't believe in it, which were a problem, but also well-intentioned people who just thought it was charity. And instead, I'm coming at it from the perspective of this is business. This is a giant business opportunity that's been laying in plain sight. That's why I got started, kicking off Angel City. That's why we're doing this with Athlos. The sky's the limit, and Serena is proof positive that you can have a female athlete that commands just as much money, just as many eyeballs, or even more than a male counterpart.
Had you invited him to the match? Where did he appear from?
So my agent
when she's like, "Oh, it's Alexis."
Yeah, so she had invited him because they ended up having a mutual friend. So when he came to the match, I was like, okay, so we just stayed in contact, and it really wasn't any.
Serena has long been the subject of speculation and criticism regarding her physique. The media often dissected her muscular build, calling it unfeminine. Some even questioned whether she underwent surgery to change her appearance. She's never publicly confirmed any plastic surgery, although fans often point to changes in her nose and body contouring. What we do know is this: Serena has fiercely defended her right to look and feel how she wants. She embraced her curves, broke traditional beauty standards, and inspired millions of women to do the same. Her fashion line, S by Serena, is a reflection of her boldness, body positive, inclusive, and powerful.
The prototype of a tennis body is like someone that's really thin and really tall and really lean. And I'm like, I have hips and I have boobs. I have all this extra stuff that I'm carrying around. I get asked about my body all the time. From an early age, I think I was always body conscious and, just in terms of girls aren't supposed to be fit.
Look at those muscles on her.
That's the gun show, baby. Look at that.
I love it.
But I never thought that people would talk about my curves or people would talk about my arms. In both ways, both the positives that come with it and the negatives. I just never thought
It doesn't matter what society says. You have to look how you look, and you have to believe that you're beautiful. I love my body, and I don't really care about what anyone else says about it.
A lot has been made about your body. It's a work of art. It's masculine. It's glorious. There's never been anything like it. Do you have body issues when you were growing up? Have you always been comfortable with your body?
It's interesting because when you're a teenage female growing up in the public eye, it is a lot of scrutiny that you face. And as any female that's a teenager, I definitely was not comfortable in my body. I didn't like it. I didn't understand why I had muscles. I didn't understand and I stopped lifting weights. I was like, I'm not going to do this. But then after I won the US Open, I realized that my body helped me reach goals that I wanted to reach. And I wanted to be happy with it, and I was so appreciative of it, and I'm always healthy. I'm really fortunate and super blessed, and I felt like not only am I happy with my body, but I want other people and other young girls that have experienced what I've experienced to be happy with themselves. So whatever people say, masculine, whatever, too much, too little, I'm okay with it as long as I love myself.
Serena's fire made headlines, like the 2009 U.S. Open, when she was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct, or the 2018 Naomi Osaka final, where an argument with an umpire led to global debate about sexism and race in tennis. Some labeled her a sore loser, but others saw her as a woman standing her ground in a system that often vilified her for showing passion, something praised in male athletes. Serena never backed down. She demanded respect, and in doing so, cracked open important conversations about race, gender, and double standards in sports.
Serena Williams was about to create history by winning her 24th Grand Slam, but things took shocking turn and she ended up paying huge price for that. On the 8th of September 2018, Serena lost the first set against 20-year-old Naomi Osaka. However, in the second set, the chair umpire noticed that Serena's coach was trying to cheat by guiding her in between the game. Umpire gives her the warning, but she refuses the allegation and says, "He was cheering me by thumbs up. We don't have any code. I don't cheat." She lost her focus and started losing rapidly. It enraged her and she broke her racket by throwing on ground. This made chair umpire to give her penalty for racket abuse, but she again brought up the topic and called him thief for stealing her point. Then he penalized her for the third time for verbal abuse. Serena started crying and accused the umpire for sexism. The American crowd started booing on umpire's decision. She ended up losing the game, and Osaka became the first ever Japanese to win a Grand Slam. Eventually, both players showed respect to each other.
In 2017, Serena gave birth to Alexis Olympia Ohanian Jr. Her journey wasn't easy. She was bedridden for weeks after the birth and almost died, but motherhood transformed her. Olympia became her greatest victory. In 2022, Serena announced her evolution away from tennis in a Vogue essay, revealing that her focus was now on family and business. Her retirement wasn't a goodbye. It was a graduation. She continues to thrive as an entrepreneur, activist, and mother. And in 2023, Serena announced her second pregnancy, once again capturing the world's attention.
Cocoa butter layer up. Is that good, Olympia? That's good. Okay. So I travel with shea butter.
Shea butter?
Shea butter. So what I was meaning to do, I was meaning to mix my cocoa butter and shea butter, but I haven't done it yet. So I just did the same thing. I ordered raw shea butter, like on Amazon, and then I put it in my hand. Remember I told you, Olympia, we have to rub it together like to heat it up. So I heat it up. And then it's important to get like the back, the middle, the top. Like I said, I normally put it on my chest as well, but we're gonna spare that next time. Well, not next time. Olympia said that.
Serena Williams is more than stats. She is a revolution in motion, a Black woman from Compton who conquered a country club sport, a symbol of power, femininity, and grace under fire. She changed what it means to be an athlete, a woman, a mother, and a mogul. From Vogue covers to the court, From injury to inspiration, from challenges to championships, Serena has done it all and on her terms. As we reflect on her legacy, one thing is certain: Serena didn't just play the game, she changed it forever. Whether she's serving on the court, in the boardroom, or at bedtime with Olympia, Serena Williams remains what she always was: unstoppable, unshaken, unmatched. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by this story, hit like, comment your favorite Serena moment, and subscribe for more legends of the past and icons of today.
I wasn't the richest, but I had a rich family in spirit and support. I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope. Just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence. So I'm so honored. I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that, because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was. Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline and hard work and determination. Most importantly, it requires self-belief, because like me, some people might not believe in you, but you have to believe in you. And sometimes you're going to be your own cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest and your best cheerleader. Never stop believing in yourself, and really always support who you are.